Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing the new NATASHA DENONA concealer. I ordered this bad boy the second it was released and it took forever to get to me. So, you know, I have it now. I'm excited to try it. I did swatch it on my hand last night just to see the colors, if they were remotely, you know, acceptable for me, and it felt really nice. So I'm excited about this. Like always, I'm going to do some check-in in natural light, different lighting throughout the house, and we're actually going out for the day. So I think I'm going to be able to put this concealer to the test, and at the end of the day, I will give you my final thoughts. If you're interested, of course, continue watching, and if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe down below, and let's get started. So NATASHA DENONA had a concealer and foundation. I've never tried that. It had such terrible reviews that I never was interested in picking this up. And so she revamped her whole line, and I'm still waiting for a foundation from her. But she re-released the concealers. Hopefully they're nice and reformulated. And she released them in 56 shades. Like, that is just overwhelming. For me to pick up my shades, I kind of looked through the light to medium category, and I like peachy undertones or neutral, like around there. So I picked up the P3 and N7. I did think that it was kind of easy to pick up just because I knew exactly my undertone and exactly what I like, but I can see how this could be very overwhelming for a lot of different people. She also came out within that 56 shade range with 6 color correctors, and I didn't pick any of those up, and from the swatches they don't look super orangey or corrective. So I just stuck with the P3, hoping that will correct a little bit under the eyes. Also, these are $30, and I feel like that's pretty decent for NATASHA DENONA, and you get 7 ml. For example, my favorite Kulfi concealer is only 5 ml, and it's $26. So I feel like the price range is pretty good. The packaging is actually very cute. It's this nude on nude vibe, and I really like it. You have the NATASHA DENONA on the skinnier part, and when you turn it, this is a little wider. You have a doe foot applicator, and this one is actually quite long. It feels nice in my hand, not super heavy, but this top part is a very kind of smooth, velvety almost feel. It's very nice. Okay, let's swatch it. So here we have P3, and you can see it's not too peachy, and this is N7. And so, you know, I was a little confused. I was expecting the P3 to be much peachier, but it actually blends into my skin quite nice. The N7 seems lighter. The N7 looks a little bit more grayish compared to the P. I kind of feel like the P3 will be good, but I'm gonna try them both and try one on top of the other, and we'll do all that jazz. This is described as a brightening and hydrating medium to full coverage crease-proof serum concealer. It's a liquid formula, matte finish, medium coverage, long wearing. I don't know about that matte finish because it didn't seem extremely matte. It seemed kind of a natural finish. I don't know how it's matte and hydrating, but we will test that out. So when I swatch it, the consistency, it's not super thick, but it's not that super serum-y feel concealer, even though they describe this as a serum. And I actually see some light in there. Can you see that? There's a slight luminosity, which I really like. The coverage, it doesn't seem like a full coverage. It seems like a medium coverage from what I can tell here. I can still see my veins through this. And I do like the texture of it. It's not extremely thin, but it's not extremely thick. I'm trying the Kulfi concealer next to it just to see the texture. The NATASHA DENONA feels a little bit more creamier than the Kulfi, but they're similar in texture. I'm comparing everything to my Kulfi concealer because I love it so much. I mean, look at that. It's pretty much gone. I'm scraping the sides of this one. I'm gonna start with the P3 under this eye. This peach is supposed to be a little bit more corrective. So let's see. I'm adding a little bit first, and then we'll see how this goes. The foundation I have on is my Peau foundation. I'm loving this so much. I find it so skin-like. I actually had to mix two colors, the 004 and 03. Or 020, I'm sorry. I think my perfect shade is 030, but I don't have that. I'm taking my Sonia G Mini Base, and I'm gonna start blending this out. Oh, I have a little friend right there. Okay, let me put my hair up. That blended nice and fast. My skin has been kind of dry lately. I'm not sure why. Mostly around my mouth. It's getting better than it has been, but that is something to consider today in case it looks very dry. I have to mention that my skin is a little bit drier than normal. Okay, that was very fast to blend in. The color's brightening, but I like it. I did get a tan the other day, so I'm a little bit more tan than normal. So I feel like on a day-to-day, this would be a really good match. It is quite brightening right now, though. I tend to like concealers to be almost like my skin tone, maybe just a dot lighter, like half a shade. I'm gonna put a little bit over my eyelids because I did not sleep. I'm reading some books, and when I get into a book, I don't have self-control. I don't know how to put it down. So I stayed up very late reading, and yeah, my under eyes and my eyes are very red. Okay, what do we think? So initially, I think it blends in nice. I do find it just a little bit more drying than maybe not. I'm not sure. Like, I feel like it looks nice right now, but I could see how this could get a little drying. The coverage is medium. It did not cover my dark circles, and the shade is not very peachy. So that's a little bit disappointing for me, just because I do like a peachy, almost corrective color. I'm adding just a little bit more on this side around the dark areas. Maybe I should have gotten one of the correctors. So here we have the P3 and nothing on. Obviously it does cover. I would say this is a good medium coverage, buildable, but not to a full. It looks nice right now. It's just a little bit more drying than, like more matte than I typically enjoy. Like the coffee has a little bit more of a glow finish to it, but it's nice. Let's try the N7 on this side and see the difference in color, and then I'm probably gonna have to combine. Ooh, this may be even lighter. I'm just using the same brush to blend it out. I should have gotten a darker shade. I had a feeling, but it was just kind of hard to get an idea how really light or deep they are. I went after the description. I should have gotten a light medium instead of a light. It just looked a little dark on the models. Right now, I think the N7 is actually casting a little bit of a gray undertone, if you can see here. The P3 blends in a little bit better with my skin tone. Yeah, I like this one better than the N7. So here we have the N7 and the P3. Under the eyes, it looks nice. I don't feel the need to powder this, and I may skip the powder. I may take it with me throughout the day, but right now, I kind of feel like if I'm gonna powder this, it's gonna be maybe too drying. And it hasn't creased under my eyes. I have one heavy crease right here that every single concealer gets in there, but it's pretty much part of my eye, so that never bothers me. As long as there's no creasing here or here, I think it'll be okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna try to even this out. I'm gonna take some of the P3 and put it over the 7 and kind of brighten up a little bit my face. I do think that this was quite easy to work with. Like it blended in really nicely, but it's not wowing me from first application. It's just nice. I do feel like I'm extra picky when it comes to concealers. I don't like seeing them under my eyes. I want them to cover but not be dry or separated. I feel like I'm very hard on concealers when I review them just because there's very few that I really love. Actually discovered one, and I'm gonna put a video probably next week reviewing it, a full day wear test, and I am in love, but it's an arm and a leg. I'm gonna take my beauty blender and just push this in. I don't feel like it looks dry right now. I'm just worried how it's gonna look throughout the day. Right now it looks nice. You definitely have a ton of colors to choose from. I would suggest probably when this comes into stores to go and swatch it, just because you have so many options. Why not find like the perfect match for you? I'm curious to see when she comes out with a foundation how many shades she's gonna give us, because if she's giving us 56 of concealer, I would assume it's gonna be like 70 of foundation. Okay. Yeah, everything looks nice right now. A little brightening, but that never hurt nobody. That's not really true. I've seen some pretty tragic bright under eyes before. But let's take a close look at my skin before I go finish the makeup. So I think overall this is a nice concealer. It's more on the matte side for me, and I prefer something that's a little bit slight luminosity to it, mostly under my eyes. I prefer to powder that but have that luminosity there, but this could be wearing really well throughout the day, and maybe some of my oils will come through. Everything went on nice, smooth, not the most blurring, but it's not emphasizing dryness or things like that. And remember, I'm quite dry right now. Okay, I'm gonna go finish my makeup and then I will show you the finished look. I finished my makeup. Everything that I have on, I will link it down below, but I have to say I've been loving the brown mascara from YSL. I'm just reaching for brown over black all the time. Unless I do like a really intense eye look, then I'll do black, but I just feel like brown is so much softer for a more minimal look. Okay, so I have not powdered my under eyes at all. It's been about 30 minutes since I applied the concealer because I recorded a reel. Check it out on Instagram. If you don't follow me, make sure you follow me there. The concealer has been sitting and it has not creased whatsoever. I have not set this concealer, and I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to set it lightly just to compare the two sides, but I truly don't feel the need to set this concealer at all. Let's zoom you in. So I'm gonna look up so you can kind of see how it looks under the eyes. I would say that, again, it has medium to full coverage. I'm saying that very sparingly or carefully because it's not really a full coverage a concealer. I don't expect this to cover dark circles, but it definitely covered more than just a light coverage or medium coverage. It has a little bit more than that. Now, is this my favorite finish so far? No, just because it's a little bit more on the matte side. However, I can expect this to last much better throughout the day than other ones. It is, you know, it's really pretty under the eyes. I truly don't have complaints over it. I just prefer a more luminous, slightly maybe more blurring concealer, but I'm gonna put powder real quick just to see how it reacts. If you guys aren't tired of me of talking about my Makeup Forever HD powder, maybe today you will be. It's just a powder that I rely on, and it does everything that it should, and it doesn't do more. I'm gonna set this side real quick. This side gives me a little bit more trouble in general, so I kind of want to almost blur this side a little bit. I'm using very little powder, like I tapped it on my hand. I'm gonna also do the same thing on the forehead and just the chin, this area. Right now, I don't see a difference between these two. I wasn't expecting to see just because this set itself, maybe the pores on this side look a little bit smoother, but that's about it. It's super minimal. I truly don't see a huge difference at all. I'm really craving setting my face right now. I'll be gone all day long, so I do think I want to just kind of set my face. I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush setting spray and just set a little bit. I never set my face after I put mascara on just because it makes my mascara run. I already have issues with that. So hopefully that won't be tragic. That is it for now. I'm going to do some check-ins throughout the day, and at the end of the day, I will give you my final thoughts. All right, my friends, first check-in. It's been probably 2-3 hours, and this is how we're looking like. All the kids are already in the car. We have to go somewhere, so I'm trying to do this quick. Okay, this side is the one that was powdered, and this is the one that hasn't. I love the side that hasn't been powdered. I think it looks much just smoother. This looks just a little dry for me. So I definitely think that this, for me personally, would be a beautiful concealer if I don't powder it. So far, I'm actually really liking it more than I expected on initial application. But yeah, that's how we're looking like a few hours in. I will let you know an update probably from the car in outside light. Check-in number 2. It is many hours later. We've been out in the sweat and everything honestly looks really, really good. Zoom you in. So this is the side that was not powdered, this side that was powdered, and honestly I feel like they both look good. I need to look here. I still think I like the side that was not powder. I think it's dry enough that it's not oily, if that makes sense. And this side, it's fine. I think now that the oils are coming through, it's a little bit better, but I still enjoy this side a little bit more. That's really good. I feel like we're about 6 hours in the wear. Third check-in, we are at home. As you can see, Andrew is exhausted, but the kids are living the life. Back to important stuff like how is my concealer looking? I honestly think it's still looking really good. It's been a long day, and I'm kind of ready to take it off, but I'm gonna give it a couple more hours. I kind of feel like it looks the same. I don't have a mirror right now, so I'll have to double check inside the house, but I actually like this concealer more now than when I first applied it. I kind of feel like it meshed with my skin a little bit better. All right, that's it. I think I'm just gonna have my final check-in in the studio and give you my final thoughts. I am back. I've had such a busy day, and Andrew and I are both so exhausted. I didn't have my second coffee of the day, and that is just unheard of and not safe in my opinion. But the makeup has stayed in place really, really well. It's not quite the end of the day, it's 7 o'clock, but I've had this for, I would say 10 hours. So that's really, really good. I feel like that's a good wear test overall, and I just have so much to do. So, okay, I'm gonna zoom you guys in and talk about it so you can see up close. To remind you guys, this is the side that I powdered, this is the side that I didn't powder. The side that I powder is quite dry, and I'm just not loving the way that looks. It's not awful, okay? Let's start there. Like, I think this has stayed in place much better than I expected. We've been outside, we've been running around the kids, but on my dry skin, I think the side where I didn't powder looks better and less drying. This one, mostly around the nose, it's looking, you know, quite dry. However, like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm just extra dry. I'm not sure what's happening with my skin, but this is not normal for me. But this side that I didn't powder, I think it still looks nice. I like how well this stayed on. And I'm looking really up close so I can see every crevice and every issue that I have under my eyes. But from from here, if I hold the mirror here, I truly don't see any big issue, mainly on the side that I didn't powder. Even my smile line looks a little emphasized, and again, my nose area, but I know that is just my skin struggling right now. So overall, I feel like this lasted well throughout the day. I actually liked it once my oils were coming through and it kind of started getting a little bit more, I wouldn't say glowy, just a little bit more natural rather than that matte finish. So my thoughts are that the concealer is nice. Like, it's not a bad concealer. I think if you have a little bit more combo skin, you may enjoy it more than I do, just because I tend to be quite dry right now. But it's not my favorite. My Colfi is better. I think the Givenchy is better. My Tom Ford. I also love the new YSL one. I'm gravitating towards a little bit more because they have more of a luminous finish. To me, this set quite matte, and the fact that I didn't have to powder actually is a good thing, and it hasn't moved. So I kind of feel like if you have more normal to oily skin, you may enjoy this concealer more, just because it stayed in place. I didn't find it to be glowy at all or get glowier throughout the day. The coverage, I still stand by the medium buildable. I don't think you can get a full coverage out of it, but for me, this is definitely my preferred type of coverage. The Huda, I was thinking of the Huda concealer. That one, it sits better under my eyes than this one does, but I would not consider this a bad concealer. I think it's really nice. I'm gonna keep wearing it because I like the way, I don't know, I felt put together today when I wore this one. The colors, you know, I think the P3 is better for me. The N7 was fine. I just didn't need both. I just needed one. I will, of course, update my thoughts in future videos, maybe in my monthly favorites or a roundup or something like that. Actually, I am planning to do a roundup of all the concealers that I've tried this year, just like I did with the foundation. I feel like that was very helpful. A lot of you guys seem to like that. And I think a concealer roundup is due. So those are my thoughts on the new Natasha Denona concealer. I would love to know what you thought about this concealer. Have you picked it up? I kind of feel like this release was kind of under the radar. There was no actual promotion and anticipation. It was just like, oh, here it is. Kind of like the Giorgio Armani one. But I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.